Tonight on UCentral News. Last night, President Donald Trump delivered his official address to Congress. UCentral will have all of that coverage. In social media news, a former child star is speaking out. Zach Sexton will have the latest. And in sports, the Broncos are charting in the NFC rankings. Luke Underwood will break it all down. All that and more happening right now on UCentral News.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, I'm Shanice Hopkins.
And I'm Lauren Jackson. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
Last night, there was a rowdy reception on Capitol Hill where President Donald Trump promised to tell it like it is. The president delivered an address to a joint session of Congress 44 days into his term, while Democrats warned of the toll of his policies. Karen Kafa is on Capitol Hill with reaction to the speech.
President Donald Trump back in the House chamber for the first time since 2020.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back.
Trump sought to rally a thin GOP majority around his agenda and convince the American public that his tariff policy, which prompted swift retaliation from Canada and China, with Mexico promising measures coming Sunday, and faces skepticism from some fellow Republicans, will benefit them in the long run.
Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance.
Trump also defended the work of the Department of Government Efficiency, which has slashed thousands of jobs from the federal government in just weeks. He singled out billionaire Elon Musk in the chamber, who has been leading the charge.
Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe.
Meanwhile, a number of Democrats brought laid-off government workers as their invited guests, putting Trump face-to-face with them. Other Democrats showed disapproval of his policies with signs or by leaving the chamber. Democratic Congressman Al Green of Texas was removed from the chamber after yelling at the president.
The chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order.
The official Democratic response to Trump's speech was delivered by freshman Senator Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan, a state she says will feel a direct hit from the Canadian tariffs.
He's on the hunt to find trillions of dollars to pass along to the wealthiest in America. And to do that, he's going to make you pay in every part of your life.
On Capitol Hill, I'm Karen Kafa.
A number of Chinese nationals are accused of hacking and causing millions of dollars worth of damage. U.S. prosecutors announced criminal charges Wednesday. The Justice Department says the hackers targeted federal and state agencies, U.S. companies, and critics of the Chinese government. The investigation has been in the works for years, but the charges are the first major hacking-related national security case brought under President Trump's Justice Department.
Thousands of recently fired Department of Agriculture employees will be heading back to work, at least for a while. The probationary workers were let go as part of the Trump administration's goal to decrease the federal civil service sector. But Wednesday, the Merit Systems Protection Board issued an order that will reinstate the staffers. A special counsel who reviewed employee claims said the layoffs appear to be illegal, and the Protection Board agreed. As a result of the order, the employees are able to return to work immediately for at least a month and a half. The board will now look closer at the legal questions surrounding the mass layoffs. The Agriculture Department will have to prove to the board it complied with the reinstatement process.
Now, Shanice, this weather has been hot and cold and hot and cold.
Absolutely. My walk to class has been starting to get a little brutal. Let's toss it to Gwyneth to see how it's looking out there. Gwyneth?
Yes, thank you, Shanice. And looking outside right now at reflectivity, we really don't have anything in the state, so it's pretty sunny out there. You'd think it would feel pretty nice by looking at this shot here, but actually it's pretty cold. We're sitting at 54 degrees. It's fair, but it's breezy, really breezy. We have winds coming from the north at 33 miles per hour. That's causing a wind chill at 47. So that's making it feel way colder than it actually is out there. You definitely be able to tell if you walk outside, because if you're walking towards the north, it's really hard to walk out there. As we look at our elevated fire danger for the western parts of the state, that's because they just have really high wind gusts over there, and it's pretty dry despite the rain we got earlier this week. As we look ahead at our temperature outlook, we're going to be above normal for the next 8 to 14 days, and that's pretty exciting for people who like the warmth, because that means our temperatures are going to start to rise. We do have an 80-degree temperature in the near future. I'll touch on that later in the show, but for now, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Gwyneth. Kappa Sigma Fraternity is taking a $5 donations to benefit their Military Heroes campaign. Once participants donate $5, they get to paint whatever message they want on a bathtub. Kappa Sigma Social Chair Cole Colson Kennedy says that Kappa Sigma is working with the Oklahoma City University's chapter of their fraternity and will be pushing the bathtub from OCU Kappa Sigma's house back to the UCO campus. This will be televised on local news channels. This is Kappa Sigma's biggest charity event of the year, and the fraternity will be tabling outside of the Nye from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. until Friday.
Oklahoma City's federal building may soon be placed on the market as the Trump administration continues to sweep cuts in the federal government. Yesterday, the General Services Administration announced they are considering selling over 400 properties not core to government operations, including the Oklahoma City Federal Building. The current federal building replaced the Alfred P. Murrah building following the bombing nearly 30 years ago. It houses agencies such as the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Small Business Administration.
UCentral Park is in downtown OKC released their free concert lineup for 2025. The concert series will be back on the Love's Travel Shop stage and the Great Lawn, starting with the Oklahoma City Philharmonic on May 18th, ending in the Indigo Girls October 18th. The vice president for the programming said this series will be united with the community through music. If you plan to attend, make sure to bring a lawn chair or blanket to enjoy the musical experiences.
Now, Gwyneth did mention warm temperatures earlier, but if I were going to the Scissors Hill Park, I would make sure to watch out for the windshield.
Yeah, it is so windy, and Gwyneth will have our full look at weather after the break.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move to meet our students where they are and get them where they want to go. Over time, thousands of students have made the move to UCO. They come to pursue their passions and find their calling, to improve their lives, families, and communities. UCO moves and motivates students in and out of the classroom. Here, potential takes flight. Our students' curiosity ignites a spark that fuels transformation. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the university that hasn't stopped moving since 1890. In fact, we are gaining momentum. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
Good afternoon and welcome back, Broncos. Looking at the state right now, we really don't have anything. It's pretty clear out there, but those winds are really hurting us. Looking at the sky right now, like I said, pretty clear. That sun is making it a little better, but because of those high winds coming from the north, we're seeing a wind chill at 47 degrees, and that's definitely impacting how it actually feels out there. It's not making it feel too nice. Looking across our state, we're looking at 54 degrees in OKC, 57 degrees in Guymon, 53 in Tulsa. Overall, a way colder day than we felt like 3 days ago. It's just dropped down quite a bit. As we go into tonight, it's also going to drop down as well. But I have good news, don't freak out. That wind is going to go away. We're going to get a cold front or a warm front that's going to switch our winds to the south at midnight. So it's going to kind of calm us down a little bit for now in the nighttime. We're going to be sitting at 35 degrees, pretty cold out there, right? As we look across the state, it's just really chilly. 34 degrees in OKC, 36 degrees in Guymon, 32 in Tulsa. Pretty cold, really close to freezing temperatures out there. As we go into tomorrow, those winds, like I mentioned, are going to switch to the south, but the gusts are still going to be pretty high. We're looking at south 25-mile-per-hour gusts tomorrow, but luckily that won't come with a wind chill. We won't see a wind chill tomorrow as bad as we've seen today and even last night. As we start out the day tomorrow, we're going to start off chilly. We will have a wind chill in the morning, but as that south wind really pushes in, we're not going to see that. At noon, we're going to have 56 degrees. 7 p.m., we're going to see 60. It is going to be mainly cloudy tomorrow. We're looking at overcast skies, so it will be a little bit chillier, but because of those winds, it's not going to be as bad. As we look across the state, we will have some fire weather warnings across the state that will start to pop up because we have those south winds that comes with a lot of wind and a lot of dryness here in the western parts of the state. In OKC, we're going to be sitting at 62, Woodward 65. It's going to feel way better tomorrow than it felt today, but it's still going to be really windy. As we look ahead, we do have winds switching to south tonight, make it feel a little bit better, but those winds are going to ramp up again tomorrow. We will have a windy and cloudy day because of that, and we are also going to have a rainy Saturday with chances of rain and even some chances of some flurries and some mix in certain parts of the state. Our temperatures are going to rise into next week, and as we go to our 7-day forecast, that's where that rain chance is. But as you look, we start to rise right there. I don't know about you guys, Shanice, Lauren, but with those rising temperatures, I'm so excited to be able to go outside, go to the lake. Do you have any fun plans in the sun next week?
Absolutely. So everyone who knows me knows that I hate cold temperatures. So when you said it's about to warm up, I was super excited. We were both also excited that the wind is going away. So that means I do get to sit at the lake. What about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for the warmer temperatures. I'm definitely a summer girl. I like to be out in the sun. Lauren?
I love the heat, hate the wind, so I'm super excited. Thank you, Gwyneth. Coming up, find out how Meghan Markle's new show with Love Meghan is looking after the premiere.
And how American star Jesse Eisenberg was granted Polish citizenship. Zach Sexton will have your social media update after the break.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead.
Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Hello Broncos, my name is Zach Sexton with your social media breakdown. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex and bride of Prince Harry, had her new lifestyle series show With Love, Meghan, premiered this Tuesday on Netflix. This show is a dramatic swap in genres from her breakout role in the hit series Suits. The new show is looking to have a rotten start, as on Rotten Tomatoes, critics rate it at 40% and audience rates it at a devastating 14%. Critics are saying that the entire series fails to connect audiences at every turn, and audience members are posting that she has no culinary skills. Millie Bobby Brown is speaking out about something she says affects every young woman who grows up under public scrutiny.
I grew up in front of the world, and for some reason, people can't seem to grow up with me.
Millie Bobby Brown is calling out members of the press for bullying her over her physical appearance. The 21-year-old star of Stranger Things and the upcoming The Electric State posted this Instagram video, citing specific articles in which adult writers are spending their time dissecting my face, my body, my choices. She adds, "I refuse to apologize for growing up." Famous American actor and director Jesse Eisenberg, known for his role in hit movies Zombieland, Batman vs. Superman, and American Ultra, was granted Polish citizenship. He is coming off of winning an Oscar for his movie A Real Pain, which told the story of the Jewish population during World War II. In his citizenship ceremony, he talked about how when they were making the film in Poland, he came to a realization that his family had lived in Poland for far longer than New York. The tragedy of history is also the tragedy of his family not feeling connected to Poland. He wanted to try and reconnect as much as possible, and that the citizenship ceremony is the first step of him, on behalf of his family, reconnecting them to Poland. Yesterday, the first 2 episodes of the new series Daredevil Born Again released on Disney+. Daredevil fans, you may be used to binge watching the original Daredevil on Netflix, episodes at a time. Disney is releasing Born Again episodes weekly. There are only being 9 episodes. The reviews for the first 2 episodes are looking pretty good. On Rotten Tomatoes, critics have it at 82% and an audience at a whopping 94%. The new episode for each week will be dropped on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time on Disney+. Shanice, Lauren, this is looking like a pretty promising project for Marvel. Shanice, what's your favorite Marvel project?
I think my favorite Marvel project has to be Spider-Man. I haven't been into like the newer ones, but I would say that one. What about you?
I'd have to say Thor Ragnarok. It has a great mix of adventure and comedy. What about you, Lauren?
I would have to say the first Captain America movie. It just hit home, and I love it. Thank you, Zach. And which Bronco was named the National Hitter of the Week? Luke Underwood will have all that and more after the break.
It's time to explore, to come out and play. Our city is waiting, so what do you say? Whether daytime or nighttime, the right time is now. Finding those moments to make you go wow. Amazing new places to fit every mood. Shopping and dining. Did we mention the food? There are green parks and ballparks and water parks too. Museums, attractions, and also a zoo. The modern frontier is the friendliest place. Now is the time for your dreams to be chased.
It's the Roadway Replay.
Time for the lightning round, Brian. Let's rewind your drive to work. How far did your car travel while you checked your phone? 20 feet, 100 feet, the length of a football field?
100 feet.
Oh, sorry, Brian. In just 3 seconds on the highway, your car traveled the length of a football field.
Distracted driving? It's no game.
Hello, Bronco Nation. I'm Luke Underwood, and let's get straight into your Wednesday sports stories. The Central Oklahoma women's basketball program and head coach Emma Andrews will be parting ways after 3 seasons. The Broncos went 27-57 in 3 seasons under Andrews' leadership. The Lady Broncos made a postseason appearance in 2023, but missed the conference tournament the last 2 seasons. Central Oklahoma went 11-17 and won an MIAA tournament game in 2023, but went 8-20 in the 2024 and 2025 seasons. UCO's Vice President for Athletics, Stan Wagner, said, "I want to thank Coach Andrews for her service and contribution to the program. We wish her nothing but the best as she moves into future endeavors. The hunt for a new head coach will begin immediately." And for the men's basketball team, the Broncos squashed the Emporia State Hornets earlier today with a 73-60-point victory. Central Oklahoma now advances to battle the Washburn Ichabods tomorrow in the quarterfinals of the MIAA Championships. The Broncos versus Ichabods will tip off tomorrow at 12 p.m. in Kansas City. The UCO softball team is dominating their opponents and continuing their dominance into the rankings. The Lady Broncos ranked number 13 this week's NFCA, or National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, rankings. Central Oklahoma is currently 18-3 on the season, with the Chos currently on a ferocious 6-game winning streak. The Broncos have been winning individual awards as well, as junior Riley Lemos was named the National Hitter of the Week. The Broncos went 7-1.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Expanding horizons, making room for the new. The modern frontier is ready for you. There's more to discover, more fun to be found. Our city is rising, just look around. Attractions, adventures, excitement and thrills. Rooms of beauty and history where knowledge is filled. A convergence of cultures in spectacular places. Open skies, open minds, and wide open spaces. The modern frontier awaits you to embrace it.
UCO's softball team is dominating their opponents and continuing their dominance into the rankings. The Lady Broncos ranked number 13 in this week's NFCA, or National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, rankings. Central Oklahoma is currently 18-3 on the season, with the Chos currently on a ferocious 6-game winning streak. The Broncos have been winning individual awards as well, as junior Riley Lemos was named the National Hitter of the Week. The Broncos went 7-1 last week, with Lemos batting .586 with 4 doubles, 5 home runs, 10 RBI, and 13 runs scored. She was a perfect 4-for-4 swiping bases, finishing with a 1.241 slugging percentage and a .613 on-base percentage. Lemos currently leads the Broncos in batting average, slugging percentage, runs scored, hits, doubles, triples, home runs, walks, hit by a pitch, stolen bases, and at-bats. The Lady Broncos will be opening up MIAA play this week with Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern. Those games will be Friday and Saturday, so go cheer on our amazing softball team. The Oklahoma City Thunder are battling tonight. The Thunder are coming off win number 50 and star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's 4th 50-plus point game. The Thunder will look to shock the Grizzlies tonight, who are barely holding it together. The Grizzlies are currently on a 3-game losing streak with losses to the Hawks, Spurs, and Knicks. The Thunder, however, are currently on a 4-game winning streak. The Grizzlies, like several other teams, are struggling with a bad case of the injury bug. The Grizzlies will be without Jaren Jackson Jr. tonight, as well as Santi Aldama and superstar John Morant, as they are being listed as questionable. The Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Memphis Grizzlies will tip off at 8:30 live from Memphis, Tennessee. Now to the athletes of the future. The OSSAA 6A Women's Area Tournament brackets have been set. In the East, Edmond North will be facing off against Bixby after victories over Ponca City and Union. And in the West, Edmond Memorial will be versing Norman after both teams went undefeated in regionals. Lastly, Deer Creek will be squabbling up against Choctaw after both teams lost in their finals of the respective regional brackets. These games will top off Thursday at 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. in Shawnee and Carl Albert. Now it's time for this week's NFL news. The NFL has seen several releases, extensions, and trades this week. For releases, several big-name athletes such as wide receiver Devontae Adams, quarterback Gardner Minshew, wide receiver Tyler Lockett, cornerback Darius Slay, and wide receiver Christian Kirk, just to name a few. As far as extensions go, the Philadelphia Eagles and the current Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon Barkley, agreed to a 2-year, $41.2 million contract extension. This deal will be huge for other running backs who will be looking to get a decent payload this offseason. The Eagles also signed veteran linebacker Zach Bond to a 3-year, $51 million contract extension. And the Las Vegas Raiders and defensive end Max Crosby agreed on a 3-year, $106.5 million extension, which makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Speaking of giving out money, the Cincinnati Bengals have franchise tag star wide receiver T. Higgins. Finally, some teams have been getting busy with trades as the Washington Commanders acquired wide receiver Deebo Samuel for a 2025 fifth-round pick. And the Chicago Bears acquired the Kansas City Chiefs all-pro offensive lineman Joe Thuney for a 2026 fourth-round pick. And that's all I have time for you guys now. Back to Shanice and Lauren at the desk.
Thank you, Zach. Mattel is celebrating International Women's Month the only way they know how.
And Gwyneth Duncan will have our last look at weather after the break.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Expanding horizons, making room for the new. The modern frontier is ready for you. There's more to discover, more fun to be found. Our city is rising, just look around. Attractions, adventures, excitement and thrills, rooms of beauty and history where knowledge is filled. A convergence of cultures in spectacular places, open skies, open minds, and wide open spaces. The modern frontier awaits you to embrace it.
Welcome back. Some new Barbie dolls are coming to celebrate International Women's Day. The new Barbies celebrate the power of friendship. According to Mattel, women are more likely to achieve happiness and success if they have close and supportive friends. The dolls honoring this notion include Olympic gold medalist Jordan Childs and Jade Carey from the U.S., and from the United Kingdom, British actresses and friends Hannah and Juno. From Australia, Grand Slam tennis champions Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley and Ash Barty. And from Brazil, actress Paula Antonini and the real woman she portrayed in a TV series, Kellen Ferreira. This all comes after Mattel already introduced dolls based on Alicia Keys and her recording engineer, Anne Manincili.
Well, Shanice, I'm loving this weather, and I can't wait for spring break.
Yes,
so
definitely.
I'm wondering if it's going to be warm. Gwyneth will have our last look at weather. Sorry,
Yes, and looking at the next 2 days, we're going to see winds still on Thursday, still tomorrow, but they're going to be coming from the south instead of from the north, so it won't be as cold as it was today tomorrow. And then as we move over to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, our temperatures start to rise. We do have that chance of rain on Saturday, about a 40% chance, but as we go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, a high of 80. That's going to feel amazing. I'm so excited for that warm weather, and that's all I have for today's show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Jackson.
And I'm Shanice Hopkins. Thanks for tuning in.